So they put me in. I had the ball on the 2-yard line going out. So we had 98 yards to go, and it's loud as hell, and that turf was awful. And I remember getting in the huddle, and I looked around at the guys, and I was like, let's take this motherfucker 98 yards.
Rashad Evans is the new UFC heavyweight champion.
It's Suga Snake Takes.
Welcome to Suga Snake's Takes with Jake Plummer, Rashad Evans, and Mike Slavin. I'm your host, Del Jolly. We're all part of Umbo, a functional mushroom company, and we've decided to come together to share meaningful stories to get you thinking, stories about sports, the future of athletic performance, and pretty much whatever we want to talk about. So, welcome everybody. How's everyone doing today?
Doing well.
I'm great.
Good.
Pretty good.
Really great.
Still in need of a poster, and I dug something up. We had at the end we do community Q&A, and like a couple years ago, my mom was going through like my old like projects from school, and there's this "What will I be doing in 20 years" thing that I did when I was like 10 years old, and this is me I did Tang Sudo when I was a kid, so I wanted to be a martial arts instructor, and it didn't work out that way, but I'm, sitting here with a UFC champion, so, didn't go too wrong.
Listen, Mike,
Yeah.
you know what's so crazy about that? I took Tang Sudo. That was the martial art that I studied growing up. Tang Sudo.
Wow, yeah.
What is that? What is that, like karate,
It's a
or what is
Korean
that?
martial art.
It's similar to, like, mostly I hear Taekwondo. It's actually pretty rare that I hear people even know what Tang Sudo is, so that's cool.
Yeah, you should have shared that on the last episode. What does Mike want to be when he grows up?
And I didn't think to, but here we are.
Mom's got your back.
Yeah, you should put that poster in the back so you have a little something to look at. And
Right, there we go. Yeah, so add a little flavor to the.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
blank wall. Got to color that in. That's awesome. Right on. Well, last episode we were talking about the things you wouldn't eat 20 years ago. And so the theme for our second episode is going to be things you had to do to prove yourself. So what are some things that you had to do to prove yourself? Jake and Rashad, obviously at the level of athleticism that you guys achieved, there's had to be some things that you had to do coming up to kind of know, like, hey, I'm finally proving myself. I'm going to do some of these things to become as high level as you guys were.
Yeah,
What do you guys got?
I'll go first. Well, I mean, when I first started off in mixed martial art, there really wasn't any sanctioning body except for in Las Vegas where the UFC was at. So in every other state, you'll fight on reservation or you'll fight at these things called smokers. And sometimes the smokers were on reservations, but the smokers were pretty much these events that are held in bingo halls. They can be in a cage or they can be in a ring. Most of the time they were in a ring because back then they weren't really too hip on the cage aspect of it. But it's called the smoker because everybody smokes in the whole place. It's literally like a bingo hall. There's like a huge cloud of smoke over top of you as you fight. And, they're smoking cigars, they're smoking cigarettes. But that's what I had to go to. And then plus it was like, look at me smoking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy because like you're in the fight and then like, as soon as you start exerting yourself and start breathing heavy, you're breathing in like, 10 packs of cigarettes and you can't breathe, but you find a way to get through the fights. But that's how I did my first 2 fights. And the first thing, I was also in tournaments. I wasn't in like I signed up to do 1 fight, but it turned out to be that I had to fight 2 or 3 guys in one night because I jumped into a tournament. So it was smokers and fighting 2 or 3 guys in one night in tournaments for me when I first started to prove myself.
How much would you make if you won a smoker tournament?
Oh
What
man,
kind of money
it all
is
depends, but it would range between $500 and $1,000. But most of the time, I got like $700, and I was pretty happy and content with that. I mean, listen, it wouldn't cover any medical bills I had if I had something like that. So I had to make sure I didn't get cut.
Did you notice it impacted your cardio?
Oh yeah, yeah, it did. It did. I would try to get those fights over as fast as possible because I knew if it went to like third round, I was gonna be cooked.
from all the smoke,
Oh yeah.
from all the second smoke. Oh, that's gnarly. That like reminds me of, what is it, Lynn Dawson, Super Bowl I, sitting on that chair having a cigarette. You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yep.
They had there was a lot of guys who used to smoke at halftime in the NFL for many years, even up till like even into the 80s, early 90s. You know, it's like they didn't have any idea that it was bad for them. They weren't being told it was.
Yeah. I think there's also an image of John Madden smoking a cigarette while he's coaching
Yeah.
back in the day. That's gnarly. Jake, how about you? You got any times that you thought, oh man, I have to prove my, yeah, there you go. Oh, number
Oh,
16
what is
too.
that? What is
There he
that?
is.
Yeah.
He's straight in the halftime having a cigarette. Wow.
Youch.
Yeah, that's
Looked like a beer bottle there too, but it's a water bottle actually. Back in the day.
Back in the day, they were different, man. They were definitely different back then. I don't know. There were many times I had to prove myself, being kind of an undersized, younger, skinny kid when I was younger. I never really got the chance to be the leader. A lot of times, like one instance up here in Coeur d'Alene down at City Beach, we'd play a lot of basketball. And I was only like 12, 13 years old, probably a cool close to 6 foot, maybe 115, 120 pounds. I was not much to talk about or look at, but I was athletic. And so I tried to play hoops and no one would ever pick me up until my brothers would get off work. Then they'd come down, then I'd get on their team. And one day I've been looked over many times and I was pissed off. And I remember just raining down threes the whole game. I rained like 4 or 5 threes. I was even out of bounds one time just shooting and draining it because I finally got my chance to get on the court. And then from then on, when I'd go down to play hoops and put my, hey, I'm looking for a game, guys would pick me up because they're like, oh, this kid can shoot, but I had to get that one chance. And once I did it, that was my proving ground. Another time I had to prove myself was at the Stanford quarterback receiver camp coming out of Boise, Idaho. Very few kids came out of Idaho with the levels I had, the ability to possibly go D1. So I go into this camp with all these blue chip California super prep, all these badass QBs, and I held my own. My arm was as strong. I set the foot speed drill that still stands for the camp. And that was a chance for me to prove myself in front of none other than Bill Walsh. So that was really huge because Bill Walsh, his eye caught me then as a junior going into my senior year. And once that hit, then bam, all the word was out. There's a kid out of Boise that should be looked at. And I got a lot of letters from colleges all the way across the country. But really, when it got to the time I got to really prove myself was my rookie year with the Cardinals. Our starter went down before we went to play Philly out in Veterans Stadium. And in Veterans Stadium, it was loud and it was nasty. Those fans get after it. I was the backup. The starter at the time, Stoney Case, didn't have a great first half. The coaches were like, hey, let's do this. Let's put the kid in at halftime. It's it. Let's let him roll. So they put me in. I had the ball on the 2-yard line going out. So we had 98 yards to go, and it's loud as hell, and that turf was awful. And I remember getting in the huddle, and I looked around at the guys, and I was like, let's take this motherfucker 98 yards right now. And I looked around, they all perked up, and Larry Sinners was looking at me like this. And I said, what's wrong? You got something in your eye? What's up? And he's like, eye of the tiger, baby. Eye of the tiger. So we took it 98 and scored, and that was really my moment to prove myself to that team. I said, let's take it 98. We went and took it 98. From then on, the guys believed. And that was really a huge proving ground for me. It was Vet Stadium in 97 when we lost the game, but that drive there was really something to stamp myself.
Did you have a Philly cheesesteak either before the game to fuel up or after the game to celebrate?
Saturday night, man, 2 with. We'd go to Pat's. We'd have 2 with. Every time I played in Philly, that's where I go eat. So that must have been what it was. I had some good comebacks in Philly, some come from behind victories, and they always wonder, what the hell is it? What is it about Philly? And I always told them it was the Pat's cheesesteak sandwich. Speaking of something that I still would love to eat, but maybe wouldn't eat today, or would maybe only eat if I really, really badly wanted it. So those were our Saturday night pregame meals, man.
Philly cheesesteak. No, but that sounds good. That sounds like some small hole in the wall Philly cheesesteak. Pat's, is that place still around?
Oh yeah, it's famous, man. It's one of the famous Philly cheesesteak spots in Philly.
All right, we'll have to tagged him in this little Sugar Snakes takes.
Yeah,
And
the thing was, Aaron Graham, my center, he went there the year before, and they just chewed him up because he got in line, and it was his turn to order. And he said, yeah, I'll have. And they're like, come on, what you want? Because they're Philly, they're impatient. Like, what do you want? Let's go. And so he was telling us, when you get up, just if you want it with cheese, you got to say 2 wit. I'll take 2 wit, 2 wit. That's all you have to say. And then they make you 2 with cheese. So we were practicing in line, like, trying to act like we were from back east.
We're still so early in this Suga Snakes Takes. Maybe Pats would be interested in sponsoring us if we change the name to Suga Snakes Steaks.
There you go, man. The year after we pulled off, I had an interview where I said it must be the Pat's cheesesteaks that I get the night before the game while I have the success of coming from behind in Philly. The next year I went there, man, they were like, yo, Snake, what's up, man? It's on the house tonight. And they were so hyped that I came back. So, hey, reach out. You never know.
Looking for sponsorship.
We could do a mushroom cheesesteak.
Oh, yeah. I bet they probably have a killer mushroom Philly cheesesteak nowadays. Mike, you want to drop into?
Oh, did I read your mind?
Yeah, you got
It's
it.
about time for... You know what that means, guys. Suga Snake Showdown. Dell was our victor last week with the 200 points.
With a huge assist from Rashad.
Huge assist.
No more assists.
Yeah.
Now that we kind of know the rules and the flow of things, I bet that ain't going to happen again. So I'm going to have to be on point today.
And this one is going to be a bit different. So we're going to keep you guys on your toes a little bit.
I'm surprised that Jake got that Tito Ortiz one. That was shot in the dark, wasn't it?
Well, no. It was in there somewhere. It came out, and I knew it. I just knew the answer. I was told by the lines man.
The line.
Guided.
Round 2. So this version of the game, there's 2 rounds, okay? And we're going to start with round 1. You're each going to get 3 guesses. But we're going to go in succession. So it'll be Dell. Actually, we started with Dell last time. So we're going to start with Jake this time, and then Rashad, and then Dell will go last.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the question here. I believe there's 5 U.S. cities that we're looking into here. Who has the most Big 4 championships? There's 5 U.S. cities that are going to be on this list. And so, Jake, you're first. You get to say 1 city.
Most Big 4 championships. I'm going to go with, it's kind of obvious, I guess, New York.
New York. Boom.
Number 1. Dang.
Number 1.
That's right.
With New York.
I get 53 points for that.
Okay. Rashad, you're next.
Oh, the next one, I'll say Los Angeles, LA.
Dang.
LA. Boom. LA is 4th.
Mm.
Okay, Dell, what do you got?
Dang, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Miami with Dolphins, Heat.
The
I don't
Dolphins
know.
never
Who
won a
else?
Super Bowl, bro.
Ah, they won 72. Didn't they win 19? Didn't they have an
They didn't
undefeated
win,
season
though.
in 19?
Win it though.
Oh, hey, I'm into jiu-jitsu
So
and
he's
UFC.
out.
I'll answer.
Did Miami register?
It doesn't register.
Is it my
Don't
turn
even
now?
play. Whatever.
It's
Okay,
your
number
turn
2
now,
is
yeah.
Boston. The Bruins, the
Yeah, that's a good
Celtics.
Yeah, dang it.
There it is, number 2.
All right, Rashad.
All right, I'm going to say Chicago.
Ooh.
Rashad is going for Chicago.
Number 3, nice, Rashad.
For the remaining number 5.
You're letting me back into this match, dude. I don't know. I'm waiting for that assist from Rashad or Jake. I don't know. San Diego, Dallas is but they got the Cowboys. I'm gonna go with Dallas. I'm gonna take Rashad's lead. Come on, Rashad.
No Dallas.
No, look at Jake. You knew.
All right, we'll roll through one more time on this to see if you guys can get the last one. So, Jake.
That's tough. Let me see. I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Let me throw out Buffalo.
Yeah.
Not Buffalo.
Rashad would have called Buffalo if that was even an option.
I don't know. I can't think.
I don't know much about that, but I know. Yeah, that ain't it.
What's number 5? Who's got it?
Number 5.
Rashad gets one more.
Let me say Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
It's not Pittsburgh.
Oh man.
So, Dell, you get one last shot since this will be your third turn.
I think I know.
I believe she went last.
I'm just trying to think of who's had
We
a
just talked about
dynasty.
a sandwich from there.
Oh yeah. That's what the other team.
Yeah, Philly all day.
It's not
What?
Philly, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Wow. St.
It
Louis.
is.
that ain't St. Louis.
It's Detroit.
Detroit. What?
I should have went with Detroit.
This will help you out, Dell. I know you struggled on the last one. So, most UFC finishes.
Oh gosh.
Finishes.
We're starting with Jake. We're keeping the order as it was. And then in our next episode, Rashad will go first in the showdown. But, so Jake, who do you have? This finishes include submissions and KOs and TKOs.
I guess I have to say, what's that dude? Gregor McConnor.
Gregor McConnor.
Gregor McConnor is not on the list.
Not even Conor McGregor?
Not even Conor McGregor.
Oh,
no.
dang. Okay. Wow.
Rashad,
Oh man.
who do
It's
you?
gonna be a real shame if I miss this one, huh? It's gonna be a real shame. Man. Charles Oliveira.
Solid.
Rashad says Charles Oliveira, who has a match this upcoming weekend with Beneil Dariush. Is he in the most UFC finishes? He's number 1.
Number 1? Oh, dang, Rashad.
What'd you expect?
What? I don't know, because
Yeah.
he's been around forever, that's for sure. But just seems only recently he's been kind of on this killer streak. But he was on a huge streak and then a little lull. So
Yeah.
that's, I guess you expect nothing less from
What is-
the one and only Sugar Rashad Evans.
What does finishes mean? Like they finished the whole match?
It's
Or what?
no, it means
No, they knock
it
him
means,
out or they submit him.
Yeah. Dell, you're up next.
Okay.
Who do you got?
All right, I'm gonna go with Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He's just been around way too long not to be way up there.
Dell says Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Number 3.
Okay.
What about
All right.
we'll go with Tito again. He got me a good answer last time.
No Tito Ortiz.
No? Dang.
No.
No?
No.
Back to Rashad.
Jim Miller.
He just won
Jim
last
Miller.
week, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just won last week. Number 2.
Man. Wow.
Dang, dude. All right, I'm gonna go with the Spider, Anderson Silva. He's got to be on there.
There he is.
Okay. Jake, who's it gonna be?
I don't even know anyone to guess, man. I apologize, but I don't even have a. Give me someone.
Rashad Evans.
Rashad Evans. There's John Jones.
Yeah, John Jones. There you go. John Bones Jones.
Oh, that's what.
I was thinking of
next
that
one
one.
was gonna be.
Not John Jones.
No, I'm 0 for 3. All right. Go ahead and finish it
Oh,
out,
wow.
guys.
How about Vitor Belfort?
No Vitor.
Oh man.
I'm gonna just go with the tenured folks again, and I'm gonna go with Diego Sanchez. I don't know
No
if he had.
Diego Sanchez. And that
Dang.
was each of your third guesses. So that will put, this, I think the only appropriate way to score it, since there's a discrepancy between, the amount of finishes and the amount of championships, is to call this one a tie between Rashad and Jake, because they both got the first and second answer.
Jake didn't pick anybody.
Actually, Rashad did get some correct to the last one, and Rashad didn't get any correct this time. So actually, now that you say that, Rashad has to be the victor. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Rashad.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Was Andre Arlovsky the fourth
And
one?
he wasn't.
Who's 4 and 6?
Oh man.
So the immortal Matt Brown.
Matt Brown.
Yeah.
And tied with Anderson Silva, the Diamond, Dustin Poirier.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Huh.
Dang.
Yep.
Jim Miller, good friend.
That concludes our second Suga Showdown. Suga taking the W. Yeah. And now we've got this final part here where we do some Q&A with the community. So we're giving away free bars, tinctures, capsules, and stuff like that if we pick your question. So if you have a question, one of those dairy-free Umbo bars. Dell's got some, Jake's got some. And so DM us your questions at GetUmbo on Instagram, and if we pick your question, we're going to reach out to send you some goodies. And so here's the question this week. And this is from Will Y. Gibbard.
Whoa.
Would you rather know when or how you die, and why?
Oh man.
And since Rashad had the W, we're going to give him the microphone to answer this question first.
I would oh man. I would rather know why. Because if I know why, then maybe I can do stuff to help prevent it. But at the end of the day, I mean, if it's when I die, I die. I mean, but I think knowing why would be more beneficial.
So the why is asking why you would want to know, but it's actually when or how.
Oh, okay.
So the manner of death or the
Oh,
timing
Because we
of
all
your
die.
death.
Why we die? Why you're gonna die?
Yeah,
is we all
why?
die.
I felt like for a cause. Okay, so how or why, when or how?
When?
I would rather know
Hmm.
when I would die. I'd rather know when, just so I know how much time I have and really appreciate each moment. I think if I knew how, I think it would just scare the hell out of me.
Yeah. I think I'm going with you, Rashad. I think if you knew how, you'd probably avoid a lot of certain scenarios of things. Like you would maybe not ever go swimming again or something like that. And
Right.
swimming's so fun. But knowing when would give you a lot of knowledge to approach how you may live every single moment and wake up every day. If you knew when, because you'd only know how much longer you had, that'd be a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah, man, that's a great question. That's tough. I've been thinking about death a lot lately and like natural burial. Jake, we were talking about this, Rashad. This does remind me of that one time, Rashad, I asked you something. We were in Rhode Island or something, and I asked you a question. I don't know if you even remember this, but it was hands down like the coldest, smoothest answer I've ever gotten to anything. I asked you if you were afraid of death, and you're like, no, you know what? I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I'm like, dang, it would be so cold. I loved it so much. But yeah, man, you'd have to go with win because Hal would just bring so much anxiety. You know, like if it's like, oh, car wreck, you never drive anywhere ever again. You know,
Right.
it's win is probably the only solution there. But that's a killer question.
Yeah. It's a deep,
Thank you,
deep
Will.
question.
You'll get
Deep.
some. Will's gonna get those free Umbo bars sent to him.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, let's get him some stuff. But great episode once again, nice and short and sweet. Some good tidbits here for the community. Looking forward to more questions. Looking forward to growing this stuff. But the Suga Snakes takes episode number 2 in the books. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Peace, love, and mushrooms.
Thanks, Dal. Good to see you
Good to
guys.
see you too.
See ya.